Hi guys, so as well as printing off miniature figures, I do also like printing off miniature vehicles, and this is one such one, and this is the Colossus, and this can be found over at my mini factory by a lovely company called PrintMinis, and they do a whole variety of, well, miniature figures, vehicles and loads of terrain bits. So you'd have seen recently I've done quite a few Necromunda builds, and I've been using lots and lots of bits from, well, PrintMinis. So if you sign up to their email list, you get 35% discount on everything on their My Mini Factory store, or you can become a patron and get all their, well, big bundles every month, which is definitely worth the value because they do produce a lot of stuff, and it comes out on every Monday, which is really cool. So this Colossus transporter certainly lives up to its name, as well there's lots of parts to print off. As you can see, I've got lots here, but I actually used 3 build plates, so yeah, lots and lots of parts, which is just pretty awesome, as the end result is just, well, amazing. So as you can see, I've done this on my Uniformation GK2 just so I can get lots on there, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's simply a case of getting it on the USB, popping it in, and then pushing a few buttons. So I recently used this resin from Siraya, and yeah, it worked out really well for a little miniature I did. So I'm going to use it again. This is their ABS one, link down below, guys. As I say, yeah, a couple of buttons to push on this thing, walk away, and then a few hours later you get a lovely build plate, well, full of bits and pieces. Everything's pre-supported, or you can get stuff unsupported, which is pretty cool. And this Uniformation has this big lip going around the bottom of this build plate, which kind of catches all the resin, so none of it drips, well, on me or my desk, which is pretty awesome as well. So yeah, everything comes off, and then the best way to sort of get them off the supports, or I find, and that is to put them in some lovely warm water. Don't have to leave them in for too long, so this just helps soften all the supports. And this is the reason why I love getting stuff from PrintMinis. I say it's all pre-supported, but they do such an amazing job. These just peel off so nice, so easy, and yeah, barely leave any kind of marks either, which is just awesome. As I've had to go do my own supports on some miniatures that I download, and yeah, well, I've had a few problems. So yeah, getting miniatures that are pre-supported is just ideal, as they come off so easy, and it means you don't have to do any sort of clean up or tidy work later. So yeah, it didn't take too long getting all these bits and pieces off, and then you have a nice table full of parts, which is just cool. And it's been a while since I've had to go building, well, anything sort of like this. Say most of the things I've been doing recently have been sort of small miniatures, or me just sort of making things up. So having all these parts is really cool. But the great thing I like as well with PrintMinis is not only do they obviously make awesome looking stuff, highly detailed and all the rest of it, but they also do a build guide, which is just amazing. So you probably could sort of rummage through and build this, but having this guide makes things so much easier. As well as the guide, they also have a print list of all the parts you need, well, to make this, and the trailers and anything else. And yeah, this goes into a full guide of obviously the best and easiest way of putting this together. It's a nice step by step, which is obviously what I did, and which is what I'm now going to show you, well, exactly how I sort of put this all together, as well as distressing the vehicle and painting it and adding rust and, well, all the other good stuff really. There are plenty of timestamps down below, guys, so if you don't want to see the full build and you want to go straight to the painting and the rust effects, yeah, by all means click on the bits, well, you require. So yeah, say lots and lots of bits. Obviously going to need normal glue for this. I'm using good old super glue with my little extended nozzly bit, and using the craft blade just in case there's any sort of supports that are left that I couldn't get with my fingers. So yeah, so starting with the Colossus cab, it's just a case of taking the lower structural plates and yeah, gluing it into position, which is really simple to do, and I must admit I had no problems at all with any of the parts sort of slotting in or butting up or just going where they're meant to go really. Everything did fit nice and easy, which again made this a really enjoyable build, and it was almost like sort of building like an Airfix kit of some sort. Yeah, step-by-step guides, nice and easy and awesome to look at. So the next bit is this chassis connector, and again that just sort of like butts in there or slots in there nice and tight. And then there's 2 lower structural plates, and they just fit in side by side, well, either side of this, the bottom of the cab. So there's so much detail in this cab, and a lot of it you don't actually get to see at the end. So it just goes to show what kind of perfectionists PrintMinis are that they really can put so much detail into areas you're probably not going to see. A bit like the cab here. This thing just looks awesome, but again, this gets covered, although I suppose you can obviously make this and have it non-covered. But yeah, there's lots of detail in this, and well, I cover it all up in the end version I do. So a little steering wheel here. You can download the miniature driver, and he comes obviously already holding a steering wheel. So yeah, these obviously you can get figures with these builds as well, which are just amazing. And then it's just a case of getting the roof cab on. But again, say with these kind of builds, it really is up to you how you do them, how you complete them. As obviously you could leave this off, so you can actually see the guys that are sitting in there driving away. And again, the rear of the cab has again so much detail in it. Obviously, in the one I've done, I've covered this up. But again, you could leave this clear. I mean, you can convert this and make other sort of bits and pieces with it. You could definitely have obviously like scatter terrain, so you could just print parts of this and then just go to town messing them up and making it look like it's been, well, blown up, destroyed, yeah, and all the rest of it. So yeah, definitely hats off to PrintMinis for all the detail they put in, even though most of it, or most parts of it, aren't going to be seen if you do sort of, well, encase it in the full sort of cab, which is what I'm doing. Even though, as you would have seen from the initial picture, I have made mine look like it's been shot up and certainly distressed and plenty of rust. So yeah, again guys, if you want to sort of skip ahead to those bits, plenty of links down below to well, the timestamps to where you need to go really. So that's the cab rear roof and the command copula, and so that just goes on top and encases everything. Again, yeah, I might do some kit bashing with some of these parts and make them into, well, a whole variety of tanks and, well, weird and wonderful bits. And then the last thing that completes the cab, and that's this little roof sensor. I had considered actually putting LED lights in this, but say because I'm making this a bit of a distressed vehicle, I kind of changed my mind and thought, well, it's not really going to have lights that are working. So now we're onto the chassis, and again, so much detail in this, and this is obviously right underneath the vehicle, and again, the chance of you seeing really any of this, yeah, very slim, but it's great that they've included it. So this is just the cap for the chassis, and the other great thing with this is you'll see loads of these little areas that look like, obviously they've got round circles. This is so you can put magnets in. So in my case, I'm gluing it all together, but you can put magnets in just so you can, well, reattach, unattach, add bits and change bits, which again is just really amazing that they put the extra bit of thought in so that you don't have to sort of like make it and stick with it. You can make it and then add bits as you go on. So say this obviously Colossus, I've got 8 wheels on this, but yeah, because of the way this is built, it's very modular. So you could make this, well, you could make this into a 24 wheeler, a 36 wheeler, whatever amount of wheels you want to get on this bad boy, you could make this into, well, pretty much like a train, I guess. So in between each chassis, which I'm having problems saying sometimes, there's this little drive unit. Obviously this just helps as well space them out so you can get the wheels in between. So this is where these bits all, you can put magnets in. So yeah, rather than gluing them like I am, you can just attach them with the magnets. They'll stay nice and secure. And then if you want to add bits or shorten bits, yeah, you can, which is just awesome. Just wanted to quickly say this video is sponsored by PrintMinis, but as always, anything I say, well, it's all what I want to say really. Yeah, I'm never told what to say. I'm never told to sort of exaggerate or say I really love something if I don't. But yeah, I clearly do love their stuff, as I am printing, well, loads of it. So that's the end little cap on there, and now onto the wheels. Again, lots of details, and I'm sure I'm going to be using these wheels in some Orc builds coming up soon. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of kit bashing, especially as next month is October. I've already started on a few projects. Yeah, I'm going to just see how many Orc builds I can do in 1 month. So the wheels come in 2 parts, as you can see here, and the main reason for that is they save on the resin. So again, PrintMinis are thinking a lot about the individual person and help to reduce the amount of resin used, which is again another great thing. So, and I'm going to keep saying it, but this is a great little company. They really are thinking lots about the individual who's printing stuff out. So as well as obviously the great detail and the fact that these are very modular, yeah, where they can, they are making it so you don't use too much resin. which is just awesome because then obviously you can print out more and more bits. So yeah, these wheels go on. Wasn't too sure how I was going to put them on initially, so I just slotted them on without glue, and then I went back to it afterwards when I knew, well, what I was going to do with them. So now onto the parts that can hold the big containers that can go on the back. And again, there's quite a few varieties of options you've got here, as in the little walkway bit that I've got in my left hand. There are shorter ones that you can have. Just again, these vehicles are very modular, and you can make them so they don't look all the same, which is just, again, it's awesome. Yeah, some modular things, magnetic things, definitely something that I really like, just because then you can swap things out, change things around, and you can make things obviously look different, which is just great. And the same can be said with these railings that go around the edge of these containers. They do a couple of varieties of these as well, which is pretty cool. So I've gone for these sort of slopey ones just because, well, I like the look of the slopey ones really. And again, all these parts have the little holes in them so you can put magnets in. Yeah, just so you don't have to sort of like have them as they are. But again, I'm making this into definitely more of a scatter terrain piece, so I'm not going to need to sort of change it or amend bits or add bits, which is why I'm obviously going through and gluing every bit together. Obviously, as you can see, sometimes I do rush and I don't let things dry when I've glued them. I just want to kind of crack on, and yeah, sometimes bits do fall off. But there we go. Say, that's looking pretty cool. Also, I do level up the bits at the back before I go on and put the cab on the back. But yeah, say, these vehicles, I think they're just amazing. So much detail, look awesome, very modular, and yeah, they are just an amazing bit of kit, which is only made better by the awesome containers that you can make. And again, guys, a lot of the PrintMini stuff is so modular, it's untrue. Yeah, you really do need to go sort of give it a click and go and see more of what I do, really. And there we go, by magic this container is fully built and ready to, well, go on a Colossus vehicle. And again, obviously fits in really nice and well, and this does have the bits underneath so you can put magnets in it, so yeah, you can put different containers on and then take them off. So last couple of little bits, again, this is where there's so much variety in the stuff they make. Two different sort of connectors you can have that kind of keep, or supposedly would keep, the container on the back of the vehicle. I've gone for these ones just because really, no real reason whatsoever. So yeah, that's the sort of the build done, and yeah, love it, absolutely love it, because I don't really print out many vehicles, and I say the fact there's so much detail in this, and I know there's a lot of detail in areas I can't even see, just makes it even better. But obviously I am going to be using this as sort of scatter terrain, so as much as this looks lovely, I want to de-stress it and put in bullet holes. This is what I've kind of done with the Necromunda bits and pieces that I've built. Yeah, I do like things looking distressed, especially as obviously my style of painting that I really love is grimdark. So I want things to look like they've been around for, well, hundreds of years. They've certainly been shot out, blown up, and yeah, they've seen better days, that's for sure. So yeah, good old little Dremel tool, and this is a cheap one because obviously this isn't Dremel, this is, oh, I don't even know what the name of the thing is without looking. And then yeah, it really is just a case of going round and distressing this as much as I can. So it's great for bullet holes, scratch marks, and all the rest of it. And yeah, I just kind of went to town. I had to try and stop myself because I think if I'd carried on going, there really wouldn't have been much left of this thing whatsoever, because this thing makes real light work of, say, just distressing the vehicle. And yeah, absolutely love it. So yeah, definitely plenty of bullet holes at the back because obviously this thing's trying to escape or evade, and yeah, it's just getting shot like anything. So yeah, it did all that, and this is kind of what's left. It looks like a bird's almost pooped on the thing, but yeah, it's awesome. It's just a great, quick and easy way. So I took one of the wheels, popped it down the bottom. Yeah, I even put holes in the wheels. My thinking is this has got solid rubber tiles on it, tyres even, and that's why they can still have bullet holes and bits of rubber obviously sort of missing and all the rest of it. So now it's time for the next fun stage, and that's to get this bad boy all painted up, well, and then rusted up. So starting as always with good old matte black, and yeah, the Colour Forge, I'm still using their stuff just because it's awesome, it goes on really well, and yeah, it's the mattest black you'll find out there. And there we go. So this dry stuff does dry really quick as well, which is just cool. Again, anything I use, guys, I do where possible leave links down below. And yeah, painting wise, because I'm going to make this into quite a rust bucket, I don't need to spend too much time painting it. And the best way to not spend time painting something, I think, is using an airbrush. So with this, I don't need to be too neat or too precise. It is just sort of getting it on the bulk of the panels. Again, I don't need to cover the whole thing because this is going to have a lot of rust effects on it. So yeah, don't need to spend too much time with this at all. And again, I'll leave links down below to the airbrush that I'm using. It's definitely a nice, easy beginner's one because, well, yeah, I think I've used it about 5 times now. More so for terrain. I've tried to paint minis with it, but yeah, it takes quite a bit of a learning curve to paint minis with an airbrush. Yeah, just because of getting the control of the gun, it is really weird having to push something down and then pull back. Anyway, enough of that. So yeah, only a few colours in this. Gone for a light blue over the vehicle, a little red for the tank at the top, and then loads of silver. So keeping the colours very simple. Obviously I didn't want to do like a dark green on the vehicle and then do rust, as it might just sort of merge in too much. So that's kind of why I went with a light blue. And then yeah, just sort of silver all over. Again, I'm not being very neat at all here. I really am just almost covering everything. Again, it's because I know when I do the rust, that's going to sort of help tie everything in and make it look, well, a whole lot better. Well, or worse even. So as doing the rust can get a bit messy on the old desk, I've just put a little bit of grease-proof paper underneath the vehicle because there will be a lot of dripping bits here and there. So the rust, yeah, good old dirty down rust effect. Absolutely amazing stuff, this. Yeah, I don't know how it works, what it does, but it just comes out absolutely amazing. The one main thing you need to do with this is give the stuff a good old stir, a good old shake. And yeah, you kind of want it sort of warmish when you're doing this. And then using a bit of an old brush here, it's simply a case of going around dabbing this stuff on all over the place. And then this next bit where it gets a bit messy, or gets messy on the desk anyway, and that is I dip it in the brush in water. So as you can see, it's really watery now, and then just sort of like dab that all over the place. And the great thing about adding the water, you kind of get some nice drips going on. So obviously it dilutes the dirty down rust stuff, so you get some areas where you're going to get a lot of rust, some areas where you're going to get obviously less rust. But again, the water, it just helps get some sort of drip marks, and it puts the rust into, well, more nooks and crannies where you possibly would see more and more of the rust. So I kind of went to town, and as you can see, I did rust absolutely everywhere. This is where the great stuff with the dirty down rust is. You can just put it in a few sort of select areas if you wanted to, but in my eyes, this vehicle, say, it's been and seen better days, so I just did it everywhere. And it's just to help more with this sort of making it look like it's was originally made of metal. I'm now just going to do a bit of dry brushing with some good old silver. Got a nice very light silver here, and yeah, using like a flat sort of brush, just going to go over and catch the edges of everything. And yeah, this really does help with the whole rust and making it look like metal, because again, all the raised areas now are going to have that little bit of a metal sort of shine, or well, metallic look to them. And again, it's real simple, easy painting, which just yeah, a great way to sort of finish this vehicle off and make it look like a metal truck that has been shot up and rusted up. Yeah, absolutely love making this build, I must admit. So kind of the last thing to really do, and that's get some transfers on. So I am trying to look and source more transfers. So obviously the only ones I really have are, well, anything to do with the Warhammer sort of stuff. So you will recognise quite a lot of these transfers as being certain factions and types. But yeah, I need to get some more sort of generic post-apocalyptic sort of transfers, vehicle transfers, hazard warning lights, all that kind of stuff is what I kind of need to get. So yeah, they've gone on. Obviously they look far too nice and neat, so simply a case of getting some wash and yeah, dabbing the wash over, trying to sort of feather it, spread it all out, and yeah, this will help just make these transfers look like, well, they were there originally and now they're a bit dirty. So the last thing I do to this, which I don't think I video, and that is I get a little scalpel and I break up and tear off a few bits of the transfers just to make them look a bit more, well, weathered. Okay, yeah, let's see some more shots of this bad boy all nice and finished, which I really enjoyed building and painting and, well, distressing. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and liked the step-by-step build guide, and if you did, yeah, let me know, because there's quite a lot more vehicles and bits and pieces I can do some sort of build guides on, as well as obviously then painting them and, well, maybe not distressing all of them, although I do like things looking like rust buckets, so who knows. But yeah, definitely go and check out PrintMinis down below, guys. And don't forget to join their email list to get that 35% discount, as yeah, they do produce tons of excellent stuff every month. And yeah, go check out their sort of back catalogue of bits and pieces, because that's certainly what I'm doing, as yeah, I just love all the stuff they do. And if you are into 3D printing, don't forget to check out the Siraya Resin, as yeah, I think it's pretty awesome stuff, and the ABS is definitely the way to go. A big shout out and thank you to all my lovely patrons, Chaos Cards and the Colour Forge, for helping support my channel every month. Don't forget to check out their links down below, guys, and there's a discount code you can still use for miniatures from Chaos Cards. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments, all that good stuff. You guys take care, see you in the next one. Bye now.